welcome to another up close video. So this one is for this brand new product from Tonic and Craft Perfect, which I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen craft metal sheets before, but this stuff is like really different. I've got a few samples to show you, but I'll go through what the actual card is first. So there are 4 different packs of it, and it is a 0.07mm thick sheet of aluminium. So it's a really, you can tell because aluminium is very malleable because tin foil is made of aluminium, and obviously 0.07mm thick means it's less than a millimetre in thickness. So it's a very malleable and shapeable product. So they come in A4 sheets, packs of 5, as in pretty much all the Craft Perfect like speciality kind of cardstocks come in packs of 5. And then we have 4 different colours. Copper Kettle, which is a really orangey copper colour, it's really pretty. And then we have silver foil, and then we have 2 different golds. So you've got Empire Gold, which is more of a yellowy orangey gold, and then we have Golden Blonde, which is sort of more of a white gold, or it's kind of like the honey gold mirror card, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's just less of a harsh gold. Yeah, so we've got 4 different colours, and inside the packet it comes with a grey board sheet to keep them flat as well. They do get a little bit dented, but with a lot of the techniques you're going to do with them, you can smooth out those dents as well. So when yours comes in the post, don't worry if it's got a few dents and stuff in it. You can easily do different techniques with them to remove those dents. And I don't think you'd really want to use it as a flat sheet anyway. You probably do want to apply some pattern to it in some way or another, or die cut it, and when you die cut it you're obviously applying pressure, and it flattens it out anyway. So yes, let's show you the foils up close. So actually I can't remember what the colours are. So this one is the Copper Kettle, which is that gorgeous orangey copper colour. It's really, really pretty. And actually I was kind of not worried, but like concerned that I would keep cutting myself on this, but it's actually, it feels like soft. I don't know how to describe it. It's really strange. Like I cut this with scissors, and it's still, I haven't got a single like paper cut from it at all, which is crazy because I was like, I'm gonna keep cutting myself on this, but it's really, I really don't think you can easily cut yourself on it. I mean, if you did obviously run your finger along a sharp edge of it, you're going to cut yourself, but just working with it as if it's paper, I haven't cut myself at all with it. So that's the Copper Kettle colour. Then this is the silver foil colour. You can kind of hear, it's a decent thickness. It's not as thin as tin foil, but it's not as thick as some other craft metals. I've not actually really played with craft metals, but I think they are thicker than this normally. So it's a sort of in-betweeny kind of a weight, but you can hear the weight of it. And then what are the golds called? Empire Gold is this one. Oh, and when you're taking out of the packet, do make sure you don't let the sticky bit touch the sheet, because here it has pulled off the colour just there, but actually that would make a really cool technique, because if you emboss this with an embossing folder and then came back over it with sandpaper, you would get the silver pattern. I might actually do that to show you because I haven't tried it yet. Anyway, that's the Empire Gold. That's what it was called, yes. And then this one is the Golden Blonde colour. So I just wanted to try and show you them up close. It's very difficult to show something that's that reflective and get a true colour of it. You know, you kind of have to see it in person, but I think you can kind of see the colours of them. They look pretty accurate. If I'm looking at my viewfinder, they look kind of accurate as what I see them as. So those are the foils. I'll show you the examples that I've done, and then I'm going to do what I just said and emboss one to show you, because I want to see what that looks like as well. So these were the 3 examples that I did. Let's start with this one. I did this one first. So I was trying to pleat the foil, and actually it's like sometimes with metal, if you keep bending it backwards and forwards lots, it ends up breaking because it gets brittle where you've stretched out like the metal, you know, you stretched it out thinner, so it ends up breaking. But that gold piece there in the background, I wrinkled up, scored, scrunched up, pleated about 10 times because I was just playing with it and it was still fine to use. So it's really, like, if you make a mistake with how you folded it, it's really not going to be a big deal if you try and flatten it out and fold it up again. And then the silver piece, I did that like first time, so they look the same, you know, in their foldedness. They look as if I just did them both first time. Yeah, and then to get that cool effect on there, after I pleated it, I just went over it with the little perforator tool that Tonic do, that little perforator thing. So I just rolled over that to try and give it some, like, kind of looks like stitching on it. And then I also cut it out with some of the media dies. You don't have to use media dies with this, you can just use your any dies you have will cut it perfectly. But for these I actually, because I was using a media die and they've got a really thick cutting edge, I didn't want it to get stuck in the die because it would get pushed really far up into it. So I did stick them to some card before I cut them out, and it also just makes them a little bit more 3D, but you've got that real metal look to them as well, because they are real metal. And then just to give it a kind of aged look, I took some Stays On ink and just dabbed a bit of it on to kind of give it look like a little bit of a burnt look and aged look, because I was going for a masculine kind of feel with this card. I did try it with the Nouveau Hybrid ink. I might just have been being a bit too impatient, but I left it an hour or so and it wasn't dry, so I'm not sure if it likes to dry on metal that's rucked up. It might dry if you stamped on the metal, I'm not sure, but I just went for Stays On in the end because I didn't want to risk smudging it all over the rest of the card. So that's that one. Then for this card, I wanted to see how I could mould it. I mean, I have stacked on that centre one, there's 3 hearts stacked together, but the way I did this is I took some thin white card, covered it in adhesive, like double-sided adhesive, and then stuck the copper kettle foil onto it. Then I die cut it, and then I turned them over and used this ball tool and just squidged around to try and billow out the shape. And I think it would hold, especially because I used it on card, but I did put a double layer of foam tape under each of these when I stuck them down as well. But look at the depth that you can get on that card. I mean, I know you probably wouldn't want to post that, you'd want to give that in person, but imagine that on like some kind of home decor piece in a shadow box. You know, you can really get some good dimension stacking up the shapes. And if you just look at that, the top heart on that one, I mean, look at that dimension just as a one shape as well. You don't have to stack them up. I just thought it would look cool. And I used some of that their foiled craft card in the background because that copper matches really nicely, and also the gilding flakes that they do would go nicely with the same kind of colour tone as well, and again with the gold and silver they'll go too. So that's that one. And then finally I wanted to show something a bit different. I know you can emboss it with embossing folders, but I wanted to see how you can emboss it with a die. So I actually debossed this central diagonal section with the die, and then on these outer sections, oh yeah, so before I debossed it or embossed it, I stuck the foil to a piece of thick white card this time with double-sided adhesive so that I could really get a deep impression into it. And then on these corners here, I just stuck double-sided adhesive to the back of the foil sheet, die cut it, and then stuck them on as well to give sort of, so you've got an emboss, deboss kind of look on the card. And also I just used a smaller ball tool to poke some holes in it as well, which I think looks really neat. And because I used the foil and a thick card, you can actually get quite a deep look with those little holes just pressing it in, which I thought was really nice. Yeah, so they're the samples that I've done with it, but I want to do what I just said. If I put them up there out of the way, I've got so much mess on my desk at the moment, but if I find an embossing folder. This is the Retro Fern one from Tonic, it's one of my favourites, so I'm going to just chop a piece of this, I think. And we'll emboss that and then we'll sand it and see what it looks like, because I'm pretty sure it would show the silver through and I think it would look really nice. Okay. This is just the normal sandwich you'd use for embossing cardstock as well, so we'll see if this works. It should do. Aha, it's worked perfectly. That's just sticky because that's where it got stuck on the packaging. But look at that. That is stunning. Look how well that's embossed. That's so good. Okay, let's move this. Okay, now I've got to find some sandpaper. Okay, so I can't find an actual piece of sandpaper because I'm not sure where my piece went. I don't use it that often, but it's hidden somewhere on my desk. But I've got one of these like little filey sandy things. I think they were from Poundland. So let's see. It's working. Okay. So it does, it works, look at that. So we've now got silver coming through on the gold, which is really neat. So it works perfectly. So any techniques you want to do like that, it's going to work brilliantly. And I'm sure you can do a technique with black gesso, and like you put gesso on and then you rub it off the raised area too, so the background would be black but the foreground would be gold as well. Should we try that? Yeah. Okay, I've got some black gesso. I can never get this open. Ugh, make a mess everywhere. I'm just going to use my finger, I think, although I've now got black everywhere. So I think the technique is you like rub the black gesso on. I don't know if this is going to work. It's just something I remember from the back of my mind seeing somewhere, but okay, so I think you do that and then leave it a little bit so it dries a little, and I clean my hands as well. Then I feel like you should just rub it off. Maybe I should make this flat so I'm not going to get in the recessed areas. Kind of works. Kind of looks like brass rubbing or something. Yeah, I think that looks quite decent actually. So it just gives a kind of aged look. So you've got the black behind and then the gold in the front. Anyway, that's just a little bit of experimenting. Might as well share it with you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that up close look at the brand new, what are they calling them? At the brand new metal sheets from Tonic and Craft Perfect. They come in 4 different colours. You get 5 A4 sheets in each packet. They're 0.07mm thick and they're aluminium foil sheets. And we've sanded them back, and so I presume the copper is probably silver on the inside as well. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!